coming to you live May 29th. Sage, we're back. It's 8 o'clock. We took a 2-week break after the Warriors. I mean, they broke our hearts. Steph Curry comes down with a hamstring injury, doesn't come back the entire series. Left the boys a little bit heartbroken. So, took 2 weeks, but now we're back to talk some 49ers offseason football. Sager, how you feel, my man?
Feeling good, man. OTA started up yesterday. We got a decent offseason. I think most things went right. Some things you wish they could have improved on. We'll get into it, but I'm just happy, man. Summer's here. It feels like football's right around the corner. OTA starting up. You're starting to hear the news. Everyone's back. You see the practice videos. It gets you a little juiced up, man. Like, there's nothing better than football. Football's king. Sometimes you get, you sip the NBA Kool-Aid. You think like, there's nothing better than NBA. Get a little taste of football. You remember who's daddy. Like, you remember why football runs America. So I'm just excited to get it started.
I mean, talk about the NFL just having the best layout for the NBA playoffs, too. You basically have Indiana set up to play OKC. No one's going to be watching the NBA Finals at all. So everybody's already feeling football. Sage, how do you know the Niners are back? It's day 4 of OTAs, and everybody's already dropping down with injuries. Before we dive into it, we really wanted to talk about the extensions that happened with Brock Purdy, the draft, and kind of give us some takes on what we thought about the offseason. But we got to dive into the news that came out today a little bit. So Ricky Pearsall, Ji'Ayir Brown, both reportedly not going to come back until training camp. Ricky Pearsall has a hamstring, and Ji'Ayir Brown had ankle surgery, apparently. So, yeah, the Niners are back. They're getting injured once again.
I mean, you just hope it doesn't go down the line. To be honest with you, like, I'm not worried yet, right? Like, I'm not worried yet. Last year, you kind of saw it start to pop up. When it rains, it pours in this league. But it's never a good omen when it starts this early, especially with a team like this that has this history. That being said, just stay away from the top dogs, right? These are the replaceable guys. These are your soldiers. But once it starts to like creep up to the top, once the steam rises, then maybe we'll get a little nervous. But for now, like, I have my thumb on it. I have my thumb on it. Let's leave it at that for now.
We're looking at it, injury gods, please. Just 1 year. Just 1 year. We deserve one clean year without everything going down before week 5. But, Sage, let's dive into the major conversation. So, I think the major talking point with the 49ers this offseason, especially the last 2 months since we've been kind of getting out of the NFL talk, were the extensions. We're going to finish off with Brock Purdy, but want to get your opinion, man. I mean, George Kittle, 4-year, $76.4 million extension. Fred Warner, 3-year, $63 million. These have been staples of the 49ers the past couple of years, and they decided to pay them again. They're aging a little bit, but the 49ers decided, like, hey, these are our guys. We're going to make them the highest paid at their position in the NFL. Thoughts? Concerns?
Concerned a little for Kittle, just a bit, but you have to do it. I mean, you got to maximize your window. You got to keep everyone around. So I understand it. It might not, it might look a little different in 2 years, but I mean, you lock yourself into it. The thing about the NFL, these contracts, whatever you see, you don't get, right? It's not like the NBA where you just divide it by 4 and it's straightforward. There's so many ways you could front load it, cut ties like after year 3. I don't know, I'm not Parag here, but
yeah,
at face value, I don't love it. I think your window is 1 year, maybe 2. You're going all in on it, so I can't hate it. I mean, long-term, who even cares, right? Where are we going to be in 3 years? Fred Warner, I mean, you got to love it. He's still young. I mean, playing arguably his best football up until that ankle injury last year, then played the entire season with a broken ankle, a chipped bone in his ankle.
Yeah, fractured ankle. Crazy.
So, I mean, nothing to be mad about there. You see how hard it is to replace a good linebacker. Dre Greenlaw leaves last year. Dre Greenlaw, when he's injured last year, you have guys like D Winters, all these other, clowns stepping in. You can never find a good linebacker, so not going to complain there. The big one, though, come on.
I know. And we're trust me, Sage. I already know that we're going to combat.
I think mine and Chase's friendships, we almost came to blows one time talking about the possibility of this extension happening.
We needed a break, Sage. We needed a break. I think we had like 2 months in a row just talking. Is Brock Purdy worth it? Should we extend Brock Purdy? So we're back to that conversation. But I wanted to talk Kittle and Warner a little bit because, Sage, this is important. These are the 2 biggest leaders on the team. And I get the concerns with Kittle, right? He's had injury concerns in the past. But, Sage, he played fucking great football last year. I think he was second-team All-Pro, only behind Brock Bowers. But
Shout
like
out
you brought
Bauer.
up, it's the NFL. It's the NFL. So he got $40 million guaranteed. But something that you brought up, Sage, you got to think about it in the sense that you have a 2 to 3 year window. I think that you saved $22 million. Or no, you didn't save $22 million, but you lowered Kittle's cap number in this year, and you made it cheaper for these next 2 years. So you're going to have a little bit of an increase with Brock. You have the other contracts coming up on the books with guys like Bosa, Williams, who you just guaranteed a lot of money last year. So, yeah, I have some concerns with Kittle, but Sage, he's playing great football. He's the leader of your team, and you had to get this deal done. He deserved it. He probably not the biggest highlight of the 49ers season last year. I thought that he was the one shining light that was going on amid of just everything else going to shit.
Yeah, there's maybe like 4 positives last season in his performance, seeing that he could carry it into his 30s last year. I mean, look at Kelsey. He did it up until he was 35, started to slow down last year. Like, you see it with LeBron, you see it with Steph. I'm not putting him on that level, but with these elite talents, like look at Derrick Henry, right? Everyone wants to write him off, but when you're just that guy, when you're that committed to the game, you're prime, everything. If you care about the sport, you're willing to go all out, like dedicate your life to it, you can extend your prime. You can extend, how long you could play. So I have nothing but faith in Fred Warner, George Kittle, that they're not going to be like Debo. You give them the bag, you take care of them, they're going to show it, right? They're going to prove their contract, not just get the bag and, F off. Like we saw some players do that. We've seen a lot of players do. Yeah. I have my faith in them. They've earned this contract. This is definitely on what they've done, but like we said, like this is your window. This is as talented as you're going to be. You got Trent Williams turning 38 soon. Go for it now. Take care of it now. We'll deal with it later.
I mean, I can't get off Kittle because is he not your favorite 49er of our lifetime? I think he's my favorite 49er this lifetime. Sage. I mean, the guy's awesome. Not only is he probably a top 3 receiving tight end in NFL history, he's probably the best blocking tight end in the NFL. And last year, there was a lot of negatives around the team. There was a lot of negatives around this team, and he's the guy always bringing the positive vibes. You need that because Kyle Shanahan, I love him to death. When things are going to shit, he wears it, man. I mean, he does not look like the most positive guy when the team's on a 3-game losing streak. You need guys like that in the locker room, and I just think that Kittle's great. Kittle's great in that way, and he's like a Gronk where you see him drinking beer. He's in the Beer Olympics with, who is it, busting with the boys in the offseason. Yeah, he's having a good time. He's not like a Tom Brady where, okay, he's the ultimate professional. For your football team, that's the guy that you want. He has fun on the side. He's a personality, but when it comes to getting his work done, when he gets to the practice field, when he gets in between the lines, he takes care of business and has been one of the best players in the league. So, I don't know. I mean, I just love this guy. I think he's my favorite 49er of all time. I really do.
When you think of the offense, right, you think of Kyle first. You never really think of the quarterback. Like when Jimmy was here, Kittle was the leader. Kittle was always the leader of the team on the offense. You could say Warner was the leader of the team on the defense throughout this, like, I don't know, not dynasty, but this era of the 49ers, so to say, right?
Yeah.
Kittle's been your offensive leader. Fred Warner's been your defensive leader. And Brock Purdy's the new up-and-coming guy who's going to be your leader. Probably he is your leader now, of the entire team. So you take care of your guys on the top, your captains, your big dogs. Like, how can you complain about that, Oh,
I mean, Sage, the guy, Fred Warner, played with a fractured ankle all year. He had every reason to just say, fuck it, I'm out of here. I got a chipped bone in my ankle. We suck. Let me just get my money. I'll come back next year ready to play. But you need guys like that. You need guys like that in the locker room. And we're going to talk about it.
Like me.
We're going to talk about it throughout the rest of the offseason. But you want to build that culture back up. And guys like Fred Warner, George Kittle are going to be guys that help you do it. So I love this, Sage. I have no complaints. I think you're probably going to have the Jesse Nailers, the Grant Cohns, the fucking clown shows of the 49er media talking shit about it, diving in. Oh, is it really worth it? Kittle's aging. Fred Warner just got hurt last year. Sign and pay. Sign and pay. Literally sign and pay.
Blank check?
I'm not even thinking about it, dude. Not even thinking about it.
Blank check?
Blank check. Blank check. I mean, not blank check in the sense of like, hey, fucking take the money and run. You want 50? Like, we'll give it to you. But make them the highest paid at their position in the NFL.
Are you at all concerned about what's going to happen now that Brock has money? Do you question his character at all?
Okay, so let's just get into it, Sage. I mean, the biggest news I think of the offseason for the 49ers, no matter what, you knew coming in to the offseason that whenever this deal got done, it was going to be the biggest news. Official numbers, Sage. We said it was maybe going to come out to 60, 65 mil a year. 5 years, $265 million, $53 million average, $181 million guaranteed. Sage. Brock Purdy has a career earnings of $2.6 million. I believe he's going to make $2.8 million a week. Good deal, bad deal for the 49ers. Dive into it.
I think it's a great deal. I genuinely think it's a great deal. I know you could pull up the tape of me saying anything above 55
pull the tape.
is not solid. The cap goes up. You see what he's making. I mean, he's making less against the cap than guys like Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua. I think he's eating 18% of the cap, and he's damn worth it, right? You saw last year what happened in Green Bay. Was it the Brandon Allen game or whoever it was that stepped in? Forgettable.
Yeah. Ouch.
I have my concerns. You know, when it comes to weather, when it comes to, you know, playing in some climate. Other than that, I trust the guy. You saw what the team looks like with him. He's done nothing but good things since he's been here. He's a winner. He's had arguably statistically one of the a top 10 start to his career. He's already led the team to a Super Bowl. 50% of Niners fans would argue. Some of the Niners fans who don't like this contract would argue that if he was healthy against the Eagles, they would have made that Super Bowl. So tell me how that makes sense. So I don't know if you're pointing to me or if you're pointing to yourself here.
Me.
Okay.
Me. I was trying to. I'm dealing with the camera issues right here, but yeah.
So how do you not root for that type of guy? How do you not want that guy on your team? Chase, the quote from Kittle today, right? Talking about this offseason, the feel of this offseason, why this year is different than the years prior, right? I'm going to read it to you. George Kittle was asked today about this offseason. He said, "I'm happy that we don't have a bunch of guys holding out for our contracts. I'm glad that we are not having a super drama-filled offseason. I think every year of my career, we've had a quarterback controversy at some point, and to not have that, it's going great." So to touch on that first point, you get the contracts done. You get these extensions done early, sign it, forget it. Don't have to worry about it. That back part, right? Let's touch on that a little bit. You don't have a quarterback controversy in this entire era of the 49ers. Last year was a little different. You knew who the guy was, but
was there a controversy last year? I mean, George Kittle. What was the controversy last year, really?
I don't really understand that one, but I think it's more so people questioning, like, is Purdy the guy? Like, do you need someone who can, you know, compete with the Mahomes, whatever? He always had his naysayers, his skeptics, right?
Yeah.
Years before. Is it Jimmy? Is it Trey? Is it, you know, Purdy? Whoever it may be. Keep going. You had your Jimmy naysayers, whatever. The check signed. The guy's making $53 million a year. You cannot argue it for the next 4 years. Brock Purdy is your quarterback, whether you like it or not. No trade. He's not going anywhere. Just deal with it. Talk about other aspects of the team, because as long as he's here, he's the quarterback. He's starting. Mac Jones, wipe your ass with it. He's the backup. That's one thing that you want to eliminate. It's like in fantasy when you have like a Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes. To set it and forget a guy. Don't have to worry about it. You have a top 12, I mean, you know, conservatively a top 12 guy who can elevate his game to, you know, in perfect circumstances, I will say, to top 5 play. Is he ever going to be Patrick Mahomes? Is he ever going to be Josh Allen? No. There's only 2-3 guys like that in the league. You get your guy. Kyle has his guy. Kyle clearly trusts him. They give him this type of money. So if they trust it, I mean, and you've seen the results, what is there not to like? He's not making top, like if he was getting the Dak Prescott contract, which they signed last year, no one's even touched him, I'd get it. How could you hate him at this number? Like, what are you going to say? Like, oh, they should have signed him to 40. Like, I would have only, no one's taking that. You can't get him to take that. It's like, it's not even on the field. It's such a great deal for the Niners, and it's a great deal for Brock.
I mean, Sage, I feel like Will Ferrell in Old School where, I feel like James Carville in Old School where Will Ferrell's at the debate and he just says everything. It's like, we have nothing else to say. He said everything. Good job. But no, Sage, the thing is, and what going back on that Kittle comment, you were never married to a guy for the past couple of years, right? Like you always had outs. If something happened with Brock where he fucked up last year or you didn't make the Super Bowl 2 years ago, you always had an out where it could be like, all right, we could look at different options here. But Sage, now you're married to him. This is like if you had the girlfriend who doesn't get along with her family, you love her for some reason, you don't know if you want to marry her. Hey, you put the ring on her. She has access to the bank accounts. She's on the will. Like, you're married to Brock Purdy. And yeah, Sage, this had to happen. It was going to happen. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, right after week 18 ended, they said Brock Purdy is going to be our quarterback here for a long time. Something that I loved. Something that I love, Sage, is that Brock Purdy, right after the season was over, said, I don't want there to be any drama. I know that I'm probably going to make enough money where I'm going to be fine for the rest of the time. I just want to get to OTAs. I want to be there with my guys. It's my job as a quarterback to be the leader for this team. Sage, what did he do? He could have been like Brandon Ayuk last year. He could have been like Nick Bosa the year before, where it's like, hey, man, fuck you, pay me. Like, I want to get the maximum dollars. Dak's getting 60. I beat his ass in the playoffs 2 years ago. I've had 3 better regular seasons than he ever had. I'm getting $65 million a year, or I'm walking. And we'll see what happens when week 1 comes around. He came right to OTAs. He practiced. Sage. He wants to be a leader on this team, and he's shown it on the field. He's done enough. There's going to be people who question the weather stuff, the hand size.
I'll still question it to this day. I'll question it to this day.
Yeah,
just if he got the money doesn't change anything about it. There's a reason the Niners.
You just said that you believe him. Now you're saying that you question him. This is the thing with Purdy. It's like, why can't we just admit he's a good quarterback? Is he the best quarterback? No.
He's not perfect. No one is.
Good. And he was the only situation that you had. You weren't going to draft a guy. Chase,
we could have Lamar Jackson, and I'd still question if he could get it done in the playoffs. If it's not Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, I'm going to have my questions, Like, that's the part. And
you have a right to have your questions.
Exactly. That's the beautiful part about this game, about having a microphone for your face. You can voice these opinions. But, Chase, what do they call me? They call me the Vibes Doctor. The Vibes Doctor. You look at this offseason compared to last offseason. You have the Ayuk shit going down, the Bosa Trump campaign. You have Christian McCaffrey in OTAs with the Achilles news coming out. It just felt like, a dark cloud hanging over the team this year. It starts in January. You get rid of Nick Sorensen. You get rid of Brian Schneider. You hire Saleh. You hire Brant Boyer, who I don't know I don't know a thing about special teams. Seems like everyone loves this guy.
He seems like the dude. The dude. I've not heard one bad thing about Brant Boyer.
It seems like everyone's willing to go to war for this guy. You extend Purdy right away. You extend Kittle right away. You extend Fred Warner. You add 18 rookies to your roster, and you bring in the kicker to replace Jake Moody, which they just got to finalize.
Potentially.
That is the last.
Potentially.
That is the last piece there. I think that is the last piece, is getting that guy out of town. You get Wisnowski out, bring Thomas Morstead in. Seems like Brant Boyer's getting his say, with the special teams, a lot of moves there. Seems like for some reason that they're just leaning on that Moody was injured last year and they want to keep him, whatever, have a competition. But I think that's the last piece. That's the last negative, like, dark cloud in the building that you just got to kick out. And then it just seems like it's a new team.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm at that stage of the NFL offseason where I could really get into the kicker conversation, Sage. But my God, with that special teams, they brought in so many different guys. They even said, "Hey, Tabor Pepper, long snapper, like, get the fuck out of here. We're getting a long snapper coming in." So I don't know. Maybe even the cleaning lady.
I'm so glad. I hated that guy.
Like, they got rid of her too. They got rid of everybody in the special teams.
I thought Tabor Pepper was just so soft. He wasn't a football player, bro. Like, the way he posted his social media, like. Just everything about. I'm so glad that guy's not on my team. I don't have to root for him. It was like when the Warriors had Chris Paul. I was like, I guess I'll root for you, but once he's gone, I'm like, thank God I don't have to root for that guy ever again.
Brock Purdy's agent, Kyle Strongen.
The guy's happy.
Good deal? Are you sure?
That's like investing in Bitcoin in 2018. Like, you take this guy as your agent, you don't inspect him. What do you mean good deal?
I don't think that's a good deal. I think if I'm Kyle Strongen, I'm like, man, this does not look good for my resume right now. This was a very pro 49ers deal. Brock Purdy could have got $65 million.
Chase, do you think Mac Jones being there had anything to do with this?
No. What the fuck? No.
You don't think? Okay, if you're Brock Purdy and you're, okay, I'll say this. Brock Purdy, right? It's a little different when you're the last pick in the draft. You always have that prove it mentality. You have a chip on your shoulder. That's how you play. You were never given anything, so you always feel like you have to take it, right? If you're Brock Purdy, why the hell would you sit out and go and watch Mac Jones lead that offense, right? Why would you even allow that? He probably told his agent, hey, listen, I don't care what it is. This is done by OTAs, no matter what it is. Like, this is done by, I'm sure there was a threshold, right? Like, it can't be lower than this. Like, let's be realistic. Brock Purdy knew the numbers somewhat, but he said, like, if it's not done by the 27th, like, something's going to happen, because I have to be out there with my guys, because I'm not going to let anything creep or doubt. I'm not letting one Grant Cohn article get out there that Mac Jones has some zip to his ball, that the guys look just the same with Mac Jones out there, and start another controversy. It's Brock Purdy's job. He took it. He secured it. I think he had something to do with it. I really do. Not Mac Jones, but I'm saying I think Brock Purdy, it could have been anyone out there, right? Any decent backup quarterback. I think Brock Purdy put his foot down and said, I'm out there for OTAs. I'm not letting anyone else lead this offense out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this was a Brock Purdy forced move because everybody was saying you release it on Friday, the media dump. I didn't think it was the media dump for the Niners. I thought it was a media dump for Kyle Strong. And it's like, okay, I get my big commission, but we could have got 65. Dak got 60. Brock clearly. I mean, when you're in these negotiations, those are the kind of metrics that you're looking at. It's like, okay, Brock Purdy's had better stats each year. Brock Purdy beat Dak Prescott in the playoffs when Dak Prescott had a better overall ranked defense, had one of the best offenses in the league. Those are the kind of stuff that get brought up in those negotiations, and they could have gotten 65. I think that Brock definitely forced it, but Sage, I got to give the Niners credit too here. It's not all Brock because apparently they did ask for 65. So
I mean,
I don't know.
You got to ask. You got to ask.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like Luke Kim in South Park, right? It's like, all right, I'm not doing anything below
the City Airlines
$55 million. And it's like, we'll do 55. And it's like 56. It's like, okay, deal. Like, you had to start at 65.
Never bargain with the Chinese man.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't go for it. And I think that's a great thing because even though they said that Brock was going to be their guy, they weren't going to get their pants pulled down. They weren't going to just break the market for a guy where we love him. I think that he's definitely earned a major contract, but there's some limitations there, and I'm not comfortable with giving him an extra $10 million per year. And now think about what you could spend with that money for the next 5 years. I mean, Sage, that comes out to about $50 million of cap space that they could use to try to keep this window open as long as you can. I think it's going to be very important. So both sides very good here, in my opinion, with this.
I think both sides won. I think that's clearly the thing. No one got hosed. Everyone got they want. I mean, you're the last pick in the draft. You couldn't have ever dreamt of getting this contract. Be happy with it. You could still, surround him with the talent. I mean, you saw what happened, right? This offseason. They had to let guys go. They kind of had to tighten the leash around the collar. You saw, I mean, think about it. Dre Greenlaw, gone. Aaron Banks, gone. Jalen Moore, gone. Elijah Mitchell, gone. Malik Collins, gone. Hufanga, gone. Debo, gone. Charvarius Ward, gone. Javon Hargrave, gone. All these guys you had to get rid of to start to get these guys their money, right? To extend Kittle, to extend Warner, and to pay Brock Purdy, right? You already saw some of the sacrifice you had to make. Say you add another $12 million to that. What does that get you? Right? Like, that's like
not a lot. You can't get that much. You don't have flexibility.
Like, what could you really add to your defense? I mean, we're going to touch on the rookies in a bit, but if this team's going to go far now, you're going to have to rely on your rookies. You're going to have to hope that you hit on these draft picks. This D-line has to show up, and it's going to have to be from the rookies because you didn't sign anyone. You lost parts, and these guys got to step up, right? Like, this is what you pay. You look at the Cowboys now. What do the Cowboys really have? It's like 4 big names and then a bunch of nothing because they paid Dak Prescott.
I don't see it with them, man.
You paid Dak Prescott that type of money. You look at the Eagles, right? Jalen Hurts, looking back on it, pretty friendly contract. He's getting paid what he's worth. Like 8th highest paid quarterback in the league. He's probably around the 8th to 10th best quarterback in the league, right? Like Purdy, or 13th highest paid quarterback in the league, right? Against the cap. Probably the 10th to 15th best quarterback in the league. You get paid with your work, what you're worth. That's how you could go far. I will say, though, the only downside to it was when it came out after the Josh Allen contract, and it just made that look like such a bargain compared to what we were getting. But
who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Okay, Josh gave them a friendly deal. That's all.
That was what was in the news cycle, right? So it's like, that's what people want to compare it to. Like, you saw it every day. It's like, oh, but look at what Josh is making. What about what Trevor Lawrence is making? A guy who's won 1 playoff game. What about Tua? A guy who's never won a playoff game. Compare it to that. Compare it to like the guys they want to compare him to. Compare it to the league average. He's fine. I think the Niners are sitting pretty with this contract, and you look good now for 5 years.
I mean, Sage, if you look at the top 14 quarterback contracts in the NFL, at the time of signing, I think they were all at least top 4, right? So when they signed their annual average over the course of the contract, they were within the top 4 highest paid quarterbacks. Sage, Brock Purdy's 7th. And in 2 to 3 years, he's probably going to be around 14th to 15th. He's going to be in the middle of the pack. So
it's going to age beautifully.
even if you're scared about it right now, in 2 to 3 years, this contract's going to age well. So, yeah, for all the 49ers fans out there who are bitching about giving Brock the contract, this was my thing the entire time. Okay, cool, right? You don't want to pay him that big contract. You want to tell him to fuck off. What are you going to do? What's a realistic option that you have if you don't want to sign Brock Purdy to a major contract? You want to take another swing on a guy in the draft? You want to trade up to the number 3, give away 3 first-round picks? We all saw how that worked out. Shit, Kirk Cousins is getting paid $45 million a year, Sage. I mean, shit. He looked like a zombie last year. He's still getting paid $45 million over the next 3 years. So there was no other option. And
we're out of
it's going to age well. It's going to age well, man. So
also,
if you're a 49ers fan, chill the fuck out.
Can we just also throw out there, I know it has nothing to do with the contract, but he literally saved the Niners from becoming the New Orleans Saints, being stuck with all these old, expensive players with Trey Lance as your quarterback or whatever the fuck you were going to get out in free agent, Josh Dobbs as your quarterback. Probably would have had to, send a Hail Mary and sign Aaron Rodgers. Like, you would have been in the trade for Kirk Cousins. You would have been in the shittiest situation possible. If it wasn't
purgatory.
Thank the lucky stars, because he extended your window. Because without him, this thing's closed and it's looking miserable for 5-6 years.
Yeah, and a lot of people brought that up where you're like trying to be really critical of Brock. It's like, okay, is he worth it? But if you're Shanahan and Lynch, that's your job. If Brock Purdy doesn't come, you're fired. You're canned. You made the Super Bowl in 2019. You blow up the Trey Lance pick when you basically traded the farm for him. They're fired. Sage, they're not here if Brock Purdy doesn't come in, save that season in 2022, leads them to the NFC Championship game, and then leads them to the Super Bowl the following year. So I get that it's the NFL, right? It's a cutthroat business. But if you're Shanahan and Lynch, you got to throw the guy a bone a little bit, especially when he's only made $2.6 million a year. You got to be willing to maybe give a little bit more than you're very comfortable with giving to Brock Purdy because he saved your job.
Yeah, 100%. He's been nothing but good to you. He gave his O-lineman Toyotas last year. I don't even know how he tops that now that he has the bag, but he's always been there, man. Like, he outplayed, Jared Goff in a playoff game. He outplayed Jordan Love in a playoff game. Jalen Hurts didn't get the chance. I'd say he was pretty dead even with Patrick Mahomes until, late in the game, but he did his job, walked off the Super Bowl with a lead, didn't lose you the game. Like, he's shown up in big moments. He's come back from big deficits in the playoffs. He's led you to the 1 seed before. I just think you got to reward the guy. Crown him.
Yeah, and he has the mental side of the game too, where you always see with guys like Lawrence and all these number 1 picks who don't pan out in the first 3 to 4 years. For some reason, everybody always wants to try to still believe that they're the guy, but they don't have the mental fortitude, right? They don't have the processing. They don't have the ability to move around in the pocket. They don't have the pocket awareness. Those are the hardest things in being an NFL quarterback, and he has those traits. So you got a great play caller with him. I think the sky's the limit. Sage, I will say, I'm going to go back to our boy Kyle Strongen. Tua Tagovailoa, 53.1 average per year. Brock at 53. Come on, bro. Come on. You couldn't get a deal better than Tua? You couldn't get a deal better than Tua.
Dude, I'm the fan. I don't give a shit what Brock's making as long as it's not like overly
You got to
expensive.
think about the business side a little bit with a thing like Brock, though. Like, this is a bad deal if you're Kyle Strongen. Jordan Love, $55 million, Sage. At the time of signing, he was the number 2 highest paid guy.
Chase, if we can go back on it, do you think those teams would still do those deals? Absolutely
I
not.
think so.
I get it. No, they would
Jordan
not.
Love?
Okay, Jordan Love. I was talking more about Tua. I'm not sure about Jordan Love. I still am not sure about. Chase, I said it last year. Put it on my tombstone. I will go down as the guy who never believed in Jordan Love. Looked terrible. Team looked better without him. They looked more like a football team. I swear. Other than Will Levis, had the most boneheaded turnovers last year that you will ever see in your life. The pick six against just his decision making toward at the end of games, like down the stretch when they had to win games, terrible. Like, I do not want that guy anywhere near my football team, right? A guy who's going to turn the ball over at will. I think the league caught up to him. No one knew what he was. I mean, going into 2 years ago, there was more footage on Bigfoot than there was on Jordan Love. They sheltered him. They hit him behind Aaron Rodgers. You saw what he was. Kind of took the league by storm. But what do they do this year? They draft him a wide receiver. They have the most stacked receiver, deepest. I won't say most stacked, the deepest receiver room. They're trying to surround this guy with all the talent they can. They overpay for Aaron Banks for whatever reason. They're going all in to try and make this guy look good. I don't see it. That being said, I know I just went off on a tangent. I do not like Jordan Love. I think you look
Really?
at all the guys in his like
Couldn't tell.
in his like in that middle, right? Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, whatever, Jalen Hurts, all those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's towards the top, and he's not making much more than them. If not, he's making less. So I think you look at the Niners; they did business right. They have the talent to surround him. They're there, like they're going to win. Like the Jaguars, what do you really gain from paying? Like, what do you lose by paying Trevor Lawrence $55 million? You can't pay anyone else. You have no one else to pay. The Niners had to squeeze him in so they could keep their talent. It just makes sense, and I think he understood it too.
Yeah, so I think Kyle Strongen and Brock Purdy. I think Kyle Strongen mostly fought for this part of the contract. Sage, I don't know if you saw this, but he brought it up in multiple interviews when talking about the contract on why it was such a good contract for Brock. No trade clause. Sage.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
No, but he was hyped about it. He's like, this was something that we really wanted to harp in on. We wanted to make sure that Brock had a no trade clause. Sage, only 4 other quarterbacks in the NFL have a no trade clause. Who are those quarterbacks?
I saw the list the other day.
3 big ones. The 3 big ones. And then there's one that you would kind of suspect.
I'm going to say Lamar, Josh, Pat. Is it Derek Carr? No, it's someone like absolutely crazy.
No, he just lifted the Super Bowl last year.
He just what?
He just won the Super Bowl last year. I'm basically
giving Jalen Hurts.
It's Jalen Hurts. Yeah, it's Jalen Hurts. But I think Brock was like, hey, Kyle Strongen, we're taking this $53 million offer. And he's like, fuck, like, really? Like, are we really taking that? Like, okay. And then he's going to John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan. He's like, I need to get new clients off of this, guys. Like, just throw me a fucking no trade clause. Just throw me a no trade clause so I could hype this up, make it seem like I actually did my job, and I didn't bone up this fucking contract for Brock.
Chase, second South Park reference of the day. Have you ever seen the Canada on strike video?
I think so, Canadians go. Yeah, I think I did.
When the Canadians go on strike because they want more money, and they're protesting the U.S. Even though you have to watch that episode. It's like that where the prime minister or whatever, he like got them all free bubble gum because he didn't want to go back with nothing after like thousands of Canadians died. That's what like that is. I mean,
that's like the no trade clause for
what is a no trade clause in the NFL? This isn't the NBA where you could just salary dump someone like a Bradley Beal where you could just send him to Charlotte or whatever. Either he has value or he doesn't. No NFL team is going to trade for Brock Purdy if he doesn't have any value. If they want to get rid of him, right? Like where could they send him to where he's going to be like, no, I don't want to play there. Like think about the NFL. Like who are the biggest like markets, like most valuable teams in the NFL, right? It's Kansas City. You know, that would be considered like a small market team in the NBA. Yeah. Dallas, I guess, is, you know, pretty large market, whatever you want to say. Green Bay, Pittsburgh. I mean, the Niners, like it's random. It's all about like your culture, your brand. Like it's not like they could just dump you to Charlotte. It doesn't work like that. Like the Panthers, maybe, I guess, but like the Panthers aren't going to want you if you're
sending you to Orlando. You're going to be on the Magic now. Yeah.
Like if the Niners want to trade you, it means that you're a terrible player. But then no one's going to want to trade for you for a $55 million quarterback. So I just don't understand that. I think it's like literally the biggest nothing ever. It's the free bubble gum. That's all it is.
Yeah. And think about it if you're Brock Purdy, right? Say the 49ers like, hey, we're trading you to Cincinnati. I know that they have Burrow, but just as an example, that's just a team that pops up in my head.
Why would the Bengals trade for Purdy?
Okay, shut the fuck up, Sage. So, okay, sorry. I'm just making an example.
Pick another team.
I don't know why. Cleveland. All right, Cleveland. Go 50 miles south.
Bro, they have 6 quarterbacks. They can't fit them in. Pick another team.
Say the 49ers want to trade you. They get a deal done. They're not going to play you. So this other team clearly wants to play you. That's why the no trade clause doesn't really matter to me. But I don't know. I thought that was funny because he literally brought it up in 3 interviews. I'm like, all right, this guy's really harping on no trade clause for some reason. But all right, Sage, we talked about the extensions. I think we already did a deep dive into some of the people that got released in the offseason, right? I mean, basically most of the D-line, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufunga's gone, Charvarius Ward, Deebo Samuel gets traded to the Washington Commanders. So coming into this offseason, you knew with, I think it was 11 draft picks that the Niners had to hit in the draft for them to have any chance to not only just be successful this year, but keep the window open. They had the 11th pick in the draft, Sage. Had a lot of picks. Like I said, I think around 11. What were your thoughts on the draft? Just coming out of it? Because I didn't really pay that much attention to the draft coverage. I saw who they drafted after. I did a little bit of a read up on them. So I got a little bit of info, but what do you think?
I mean, Chase, we said it when we talked about the Niners after the season ended. I said, I think the window is closed for the next 2 years with the contingency of if they knock the next 2 drafts out of the park. I will say this. It's hard to predict what the hell these guys are going to become.
Of course.
But I think they made all the right picks. They hit on the areas they had to hit on. I mean, what was the most frustrating thing last year? The Niners couldn't stop the run to save their lives. So what do? They get a linebacker who's good at stopping the run, 2 D tackles who are run stuffers. Michael Williams, I mean, played through an injury last year, so you look at the stats and it's very underwhelming, but apparently sets the edge, can stop the run, gets upfield, is skilled, huge, 6'4", whatever the weight is, just like a big D end that can get to the quarterback. You bet on the traits. CJ West, a guy who's built to stuff the run. Alfred Collins, the guy from Texas, another big run stuffer. So you get these guys to replace what you lost. I love what they did. Drafting the best available and drafting guys that they liked. They need to play though. I think like one of the things I'm going to harp on all year, all offseason is I hope they don't stash these guys like Kyle's known to do with some of these rookies, keeping them on the bench.
Bro. He can't. He can't, Sage. You can't.
You got to go with the Eagles. What the Eagles did last year, Chase, I called it early. What the Chiefs did 2 years ago. You draft these rookies, you start them from week 1, and you grow with them, and you watch your defense get better week by week. That's what you got to do. You got to hope these guys hit. Nick Martin, can he replace Dre Greenlaw? You better hope so. CJ West, Alfred Collins, can they be that D tackle duo that Buckner and Armstead once were? Do you finally have another D end? Did you finally draft another D end, right, with Michael Williams? You spent the 11th pick on him. Better hope so. Upton Stout. Apparently this guy's like glue. Have I ever seen him play? Fuck no. But Mel Kiper's telling me he's good. I'll try and believe it, right? These running backs that they drafted. Could someone take the load off Christian McCaffrey's shoulders? Can you load manage him just a bit? Can we give him the Kawhi Leonard treatment until the playoffs, and then we could unleash him? Like, certain moves you got to make. Can these rookies contribute? Because you lost a lot of guys, but you didn't add anyone in free agency. So you got to get the contribution from somewhere. It's got to be these guys. You knock this out of the park. You go 5 for 7 on these picks. I think you're right back there.
Sage, what's the grade? Sage, what's your grade coming out of the draft? I love how it's always the grade. It's like the Niners, A plus, A minus. It's like you never know. I mean, these guys are literally in shorts right now in OTAs. You got Michael Williams. Hey, I hope that he's a stud. From what I could see, he looks like a freak of nature. I will say, I'm scared about drafting guys from Georgia and Alabama. Maybe I'm stupid here, but you always 100%. Have the best teammates. You always have the best teammates around you. They can't really just hone in on you like if you played on a Mississippi State or something. So sometimes you look a little bit better because they're focused on
CJ West. I will say though, like one thing that does worry me about him is that half these like draft analysts and specialists had his teammate going before him, the other D end. I'm blanking on his name right now. The guy who the Falcons drafted him, I think. God damn it.
You're talking about CJ West or you're talking about Michael Williams?
No, I'm talking about Michael Williams, Jalen Walker, his teammate.
Yeah.
The other guy from
Georgia always has like 5 guys who are listed in the top 10 for Kiper and everybody. So
yeah,
you may get a couple guys who think that guy's going to be better, but you do have a lot of hype. I mean, I saw Ben Solak, who honestly is the smartest guy who's never right at all. I'm telling you, look at this guy's predictions. He always has maybe like 20 different stats to back up the take that he has. It never pans out. Okay, just look at that moving forward with Ben Solak. He really likes him, and what I will say, Sage, is that with Michael Williams, he combats a little bit of the fears that I just brought up because apparently the 2 best games that he had all last year was against Kelvin Banks from Texas, who I think went 9th overall. So he showed that one-on-one against another high-level talent. He was able to perform and honestly was able to kick his ass. So I'm excited with the Michael pick. Sage, you had to go defense, right? You had to go defense. They went the first 5 picks. Yeah. What's that?
I said you saw Jed York's tweet. He said, I think we're going to change it up. And then it was like, never mind. Robert Saleh just walked in the room. Saleh dominated.
What's up with Jed York trying to be a little smart on Twitter now? What's going on with that?
I don't know, bro. He's trying to fit
like Jed, literally stay the fuck out of here, dude. The last time you really got into the mix, Jim Harbaugh left and we got Jim Tomsula. And now you're coming out. You're saying that the money ain't flowing like it used to. I don't know if we could like pay all these contracts. I don't know if we could pay cash up front. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to see you tweeting. I don't want to see you going out to Draymond Green's Nigerian kitchen and talk about how good it is. I literally want you to pay the checks and shut the fuck up. So
Chase, question.
That's my Ji'Ayir take.
Chase, what's your Robert Saleh take? Because I know you're a historic Robert Saleh hater.
I'm not a hater, Sage. I will say that I don't think that – I think he's a little bit overrated. I think he's a little bit overrated. For what the Niners need right now, they needed organization because you had Nick Sorensen come in who had no defensive coordinator experience. It's almost like he was the chill guy who Kyle hung out with. He's like, hey, man, you want to be my defensive coordinator? He's like, yeah, sure, dude. Like, just let's run it. And he was lost. He was lost the entire year. Just lost. Rushing for every time with a defensive line who just could never get home. And when he blitzed, it was almost like, shit, okay, I'll just rush with the 4 who can't get to the quarterback. I'd rather just give up on trying to get any sort of pressure and drop back into coverage. But Saleh brings some organization. He knows a lot of the players on this team. They love him. So just for the vibes aspect of it, I like that. But some of the X's and O's in after halftime or especially late in the game, you saw in the Super Bowl against Mahomes, right? I mean, they just blitzed us in the last 8 minutes. You saw that with the Seahawks in the last game.
Offense, man.
Yeah, but you saw it in the last game of the season, too, with the Seahawks, where you're in control of that game the entire way. Russell Wilson just drives down 3 times in a row. You don't even think about getting a stop until the clock runs out and Dre Greenlaw stops him at the 1-yard line. So I have some concerns about Robert Saleh, but they got a lot of talent on defense, and I got to trust him. And I think he'll do a good job.
I believe it. I really like him. Chase, you know I like him. I just think like it's a perfect recipe where you bring back a legitimate defensive coordinator and you come off this season where your defense was terrible. So you supplement it by going all out in the draft. So not only are you improving your brains, but you're improving your talent. You're improving your scheme. You're improving the talent that you can use in that scheme. I think it's going to be perfect. I honestly, one of the things I'm going to hone on is I think the Niners are going to go back to being the best. I mean, from a statistical standpoint, they're probably going to have the number 1 defense in the league just based on the quarterbacks they're playing and how much better they've got.
You want to throw a bet on that? They're not going to be the number 1 defense in the league, Sage. I feel good about the rookies that they drafted, but there's a lot of holes on this defense right now.
No. I'm just saying from a statistical standpoint, I think they're going to fare very well because who's the best quarterback they play this year? Michael Penix? I mean, Matthew Stafford? Like, who's the best quarterback they're going to see? Like, I think they're going to, get to take advantage of an easy schedule, build up their guys, and they're going to just bully these terrible teams. Like, you see what it is to start. It's like Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold in his first game as a Seahawk. What are the Saints going to throw? Tyler Shaw in his second start in his career. Like, you look at how it's going to start for this team. Like, when you look at the schedule, like, I think they're going to get some momentum going. They're going to build off of it. And I don't know, like I'm saying from a statistical standpoint, like they're going to get off to a hot start. And that defense could just keep getting better and better.
Okay, but what I will say, Sage, is that we brought up the 2 D linemen that they drafted, right? You got CJ West and you got Alfred Collins. From what I can see, they seem like big guys. They seem like guys who could go in there and make an impact. Are they going to start over Jordan Elliott? And I mean, I don't even know who the other guy is in there right now. I mean, it's Jordan Elliott and who is the other guy that they have set up there? Is it Kalia Davis? I mean, Kevin Givens. Who's going to start at D tackle? Because if you're rolling out Kevin Givens again and you're rolling out I always get them mixed up. Yeah. Givens and Elliott, you're fucked. Sage, you're fucked. The Niners aren't going to be able to stop the run again. So you got to put in these rookies in the D line, but it's a similar situation across the board. Even at the linebacker spot, it's either this guy who they drafted in the 3rd round works out, or you got to start Demetrius Flanagan fouls. Or, sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. The D Winters. You're going to have to start D Winters right next to Fred Warner. And I like D Winters, but I don't think that he's going to be good enough to where he could be a starting linebacker on a team that's trying to contend for a Super Bowl. So, and now you got the Ji'Ayir Brown news. You were already really, really shaky at safety. Now you're losing your top guy. Malik Mustafa, Sage, did you know he tore his ACL in week 18?
Well, I knew it, but I just didn't understand it at the time. I found out like 2 months later, like everyone else.
Yeah,
did.
That's what I mean. After the game, I'm thinking like, okay, nobody got injured.
I was
The
gonna say he's
season
one of the
sucked.
bright spots.
And then 2 months later, it's like, oh no, I tore my ACL against the Cardinals. It's like, fuck, dude, what? So,
Chase, if the season were to start today, do you know who our safeties would be?
would it be? I know you got Pinnock, right? Who they got from the Jets.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably have to throw out the starter or the rookie, Marcus Single that they drafted, and Jason Pinnock or George Odom, right?
Well, they're both. So Pinnock and Single
that's
are both free safeties. So it'd be Pinnock and Richie Grant would be the other starting safety from what I'm looking
disgusting.
at. That's
disgusting. See, Sage, that's disgusting. Even against a weak schedule, these are NFL guys. I mean, you hear it every time, right? Like, hey, these guys get paid too. They're professional football players.
Better hope the D-line could eat.
You got to give them some respect if you're throwing out safeties like that. They're going to tear you up at some point.
No, I agree. It's just going to be, can you build off it? Can these guys get healthy at the right time? Because your depth is non-existent. I mean, you drafted starters. You didn't draft, like the beautiful thing about what the Eagles did last year is they drafted these rookies as depth pieces and then they became starters. Even though like they were playing a lot, the Niners drafted starters, guys who have to start. You have to start CJ West. You have to start Alfred Collins. Those have to be your tackles because you ain't rolling out Jordan Elliott. You ain't rolling out Kevin Gibbons. So
maybe even in like just like, yeah.
Can they start? Can they make an impact? If you hit on them, if you just hit on one of them, I think CJ West, I'm leaning more towards. I like him. It seems like the reports coming out are that this guy's the man. I mean, I've never seen him
killing
play
it in OTAs right now with shorts on.
I'm just seeing this. What?
What are the reports? I mean, what are the reports?
What?
Did he bench press 350? Like, what the fuck did he really do in OTAs?
I'm seeing violent hands and clogs the middle, which you got to love, man. They're saying the DJ Jones comparisons are alive.
I'm hopeful. It's hard for me to
remember the name, Chase.
It's hard for me not to combat some of the talk coming out of OTAs right now because I just don't take this stuff seriously. I just don't take this stuff seriously. I hope that it's right, but we'll see. We'll see. Sage, the offensive guys, I mean, you got a guy from Oregon. I think you drafted, what was it, in the 5th round, you draft Jordan James, running back out of Oregon. You remember this guy at all? I didn't. I only remember in the Rose Bowl when you guys got your dicks kicked in. I didn't really remember who the running back was and if I like him on the Niners. So what were your thoughts on him?
I mean, is he better than Patrick Taylor Jr.? Yes. I will guarantee you he is. I think he's going to slot into exactly. I think he'll slot into that 3rd running back spot behind Garendo, behind Christian McCaffrey. I think he's going to get some serious run. Never fumbled in his collegiate career.
Oh.
Never fumbled in his high school career. Kind of a little Elijah Mitchell light, right?
That was Elijah Mitchell, right? Who had never fumbled in his college career. Yeah.
Protects the ball, can run routes, gets out in the pass game, could block, does everything I'd say at a B level, right? A little undersized, doesn't have, breakaway speed, but can run between the tackles, does everything at a B level. I think he'll be a fine 3rd running back. Is he going to, take the league by storm? Is he going to be, this year's Bucky Irving? No, it's not that. I think a lot of people saw what Bucky did last year and be like, can the Niners recreate that with this pick? He's clearly not as good, but I like what he is for what he is. Apparently, though, the undrafted rookie, too, Corey Kleiner, or I don't even know his name, something like that. Apparently, he's, killing OTAs. People like him. So who knows?
Dude, what was his 40? What was his 40 time?
And there's like 4.29.
Oh, wow. So he's faster than Deion Sanders was in his prime. Get the fuck out of here, Sage. But no. Sage, we know that the Niners,
4.57.
The Niners could draft running backs, so I'll give them credit there. I'll give Kyle Shanahan.
Can they? Can they? Trey Sermon.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's go through it. Let's go through it. Also, you were a Trey Sermon guy. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that back at you. You were Trey Sermon. Yeah.
No, I wasn't. I was always been anti-Trey Sermon.
Jordan Mason turned out to be probably. Would you not say he's a top 20 running back in the league?
Okay. They didn't draft him.
Signed him, undrafted free agent.
He was.
That's
undrafted.
The same shit. What are you trying to get me on a technicality here?
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to do here.
They signed him as an undrafted free agent. That's almost better. He didn't get drafted. They're like, hey, you know what? We really like this guy. Let's sign him. I thought Elijah Mitchell was great as well.
Played like 6 games.
What are you talking about? He was a starter throughout the year.
He's always hurt. Like he's already gone.
You're telling me that the Niners haven't always been able to find guys in late rounds with running backs who could be very impactful players in the backfield.
Serviceable, I'd say. Like who's been the best running back?
Got traded for 2 draft picks.
What, like 6 round? Dude, come on now. I think they've missed worse than they've hit. I'll say that. Like they've spent back-to-back years 3rd round picks on running backs, and neither of them ever really became a starter. Like neither of them even got a chance. So I'm not going to say they've been good at drafting running backs.
I think so. I think Kyle Shanahan knows what he wants in a running back, and when it pans out, it seems like they know what they're doing. Hopefully, that's this guy. But Sage, really quick before we kind of dive into our hot takes here, with that Ricky Pearsall news, I'm not saying that this is going to be something that's going to carry on into training camp, going to carry on into week 1. But he's hurt, right? I mean, he's running in OTAs with shorts on. He had a hamstring issue last year. Now he gets his hamstring hurt again. You know that Brandon Ayuk's probably going to come back in what? Around week 7 is maybe the most optimistic thing that I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen too much about it. It seems like he still isn't like working out full.
Yeah.
Maybe, what was it, week 4? So you got to think it's usually, 8 to 10 months. I wouldn't expect him until probably week 5, week 6. I mean, week 7 seems like drastic. That's like over a year.
I don't know. I mean, from what I've heard, that seems like the realistic outcome. They're going to put him on the PUP list, which means that he's going to be out for at least the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah.
You got to think that they're not going to want to rush him right into it coming off a torn ACL. But you got Juwan Jennings, who was a major positive last year. We brought up what were the positives in that season from hell. George Kittle, Juwan Jennings was another one. You got Ricky Pearsall, hopefully. But, Sage, I think that these wide receivers they drafted are going to have to give some impact. I mean, you got Jordan Watkins, who they drafted from Ole Miss.
I like him, man.
I mean, tied the SEC in touchdowns last year with 9. He was in the league. That's not nothing.
Absolute burner at 215. Like, he's not like a Danny Gray, where he's a burner, but he's like frail and small. Burner, 215 pounds. Kind of, I'm not obviously saying this very, very lightly, but he's kind of like Ty Hill, right? Where like he's quick, but he's stout, right? Like he has some mass to him. So everything I've seen from this guy is good. Apparently, a little suspect when it comes to catching. Obviously,
it's kind of a big thing when it comes to being.
Can you improve it? But the tangibles are there. So I'm gonna hope for this guy. Like, can he be the burner? Can he be the deep threat? Brock likes to throw the ball, throws the ball downfield more aggressively than any other quarterback in the league. Can you finally get him that deep threat that he's been missing? That Debo was supposed to be, then got fat on him.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I mean, you lose Debo Samuel. We wanted Debo out by, I think, week 10, so we don't think that's going to be that big of an impact, but you need somebody to fit into that role. I think that they have enough weapons, but look out for that stage. You may need some of these guys to impact the first couple weeks of the season, and I think that they're going to look to that guy from Ole Miss to do something. So you also got DeMarcus Robinson, so who knows, but I've never been a huge fan of DeMarcus Robinson, and apparently he's going to get suspended right for the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I think they signed 2 undrafted, right, wide receivers. One, is it Nair, the kid that they drafted? That
rings a bell. I didn't really look at the undrafted guys that much. 6'4",
runs a 4.40 or a 4.40. Apparently he's been a burner. They said he made the catch of rookie OTAs. Isaiah Nair's his name.
Was he getting guarded, or was this just a route where he was running with nobody guarding him?
I have no clue. Apparently he might be like a personality issue, but 6'4", runs a 4.40, has a 7.5 foot wingspan. So pretty big guy.
That's not bad. That's basically we almost got like a KD kind of body shape right now as a wide receiver. Where it's like, I'm 6'2", but I got a 7'3" wingspan. It's like, how the fuck did this happen?
Kruger said looks like...
How is your wingspan 11 inches taller than or larger than what you are height-wise? I don't get how that happens. He
looks like Randy Moss when he walks around. So,
can you imagine us, Sage? I mean, we're both like what, like 5'8", 5'9". It's like, yeah, I'm 5'9", but I got a 6'5" wingspan.
I have a pretty good wingspan. Can't even see it on the screen.
What? Can we measure it out? Can we do that live? Can
we do that? We'll do that 24
where you measure out your wingspan.
We could have a little
combine. We could have a little combine.
Yeah, eventually we'll do a combine.
You would get me in the bench press. I mean, I would just almost like give that one up to you right away. I think I get you running wise. I'd get you.
I don't know when's the last time I ran a full sprint. I'd have to.
Yeah,
exactly. You got to be running for sure.
You're a Peloton guy, Sage. You can't hit the pavement like I can, dude.
I think like a flat sprint.
No, stop.
I don't even know.
No, stop. Don't even.
My body's built different though. I'm more for the D-line drills. You're putting me out of position.
You got more of that D-line body type?
Yeah.
D tackle. We got D tackle to Babney coming over here.
Put me in a 3 cone. You'll be shocked.
I can see that. But all right, Sage, you want to just dive into the hot take? I mean, like I said, I don't think I'm going to have a lot of talk on these guys coming in from the draft until I actually see them play in pads, even in a preseason game. I mean, just give me a preseason game. I'm not going to watch fucking practice and let you know what I think and give actual opinions on these guys. So we just wanted to introduce it a little bit here. But Sage, we brought it up. We wanted to do a little section of the show where we take some of the info that we found out during the offseason for the NFL, specifically with the Niners, but give me a hot take. Sage, you got a lot of opinions. You've been waiting about 3 months to let them out. What's your hottest take coming into, I think we're about 100 days away from the start of the regular season here.
I think the Niners are going to get the 1 seed in the West.
Fuck you.
Was that yours?
Yeah, it's mine. All right, let's just do it.
I said the West.
Let's collab on this.
Dude,
God damn you.
I think I had 2. Okay, I had an individual one too. I had a feeling. Okay,
all right, bring up the other one, and then we'll go to town on the 1 seed.
I think Brock Purdy is going to lead the league in passing yards. I think they're going to go against these terrible defenses. I think it has everything to do, like, it just does. Like, it's such like a vanilla take to say that, like, oh, they're just going to take advantage of a weak schedule. What's the good defense they're playing this year compared to last year? They have the travel advantage now. They're going to have all the talent advantage going against these shitty coaches, these shitty teams. And I mean, like, they have a late bye. I think the team's just going to be a lot better. You have your coordinators boosted. I like the Niners get the 1 seed more. You look at what the Lions have to go through. You look at what the Eagles have to go through. The NFC's never been that deep, never been that talented. I think Niners get the 1 seed.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's just dive into that stage because I agree with you. This is probably maybe about 60% schedule related. And I think 40% that
being healthy.
Well, I think it's 40% that the NFC is so stacked. I mean, the teams that you're really scared about when it comes to getting the 1 seed, you probably say Philly, right? Philly's the team that jumps out to you. But the Commanders, they made the NFC Championship game last year. They signed a lot of people. I think they were bad signings, but they're swinging for it. So they're going to be in the mix. And then the Giants may be a little bit frisky. And you know that the Cowboys, even though, like Stephen A. said, they're a dumpster fire or accident waiting to happen, they're still talented. They're still going to be in the mix. And giving the Eagles a run for their money. And then the NFC North is just a crapshoot, Sage. You got 4 talented teams in there. I don't trust anybody from the NFC South. And I think the Niners have the easiest schedule in the league. So, yeah, I mean, just right off the bat, that was my take, that I think they got a shot at the 1 seed. And just think about how much it affects your view on what this team could do if you lock up the 1 seed and if you lock up home field advantage in the playoffs. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but think about how different you look at this team.
Not only is it home field advantage for the playoffs, it's for the entire thing because the Super Bowl's at Levi's too. So you never have to leave. You literally will not have to travel from December until February. You have everything coming at home. It would be perfect. It would be literally a perfect situation. You have the perfect year to do it. Sometimes with these down years, right, you just got to bounce back. In 2019, that's what they did. Draft the D lineman. You take advantage of an easy schedule. You start off 7-0, whatever it is, and you just run with it. And you just put yourself in a good position early. Not like what it was in 2022, where you start off whatever it is, like 6-5, you win 10 in a row, whatever it was. And you have to, you saw what it happened with the Warriors this year, right? You have to have your foot on the gas for 3 months and your team breaks down.
Yeah.
Front load it. Get your wins out early. No slow starts. Everyone stays healthy. You could load manage here and there. You don't have to, exert Christian McCaffrey. Get that 1 seed, baby. I think it's very doable. The NFC North, they're going to eat at each other. The NFC East hasn't had a back-to-back conference winner or a division winner since 2004. Since 2004.
It's crazy.
It just so you can bet and think it's going to be Philly, but it just never works out that way, right? It's like the thing where it's always there's 4 new teams in the playoffs every year, right? Shit just happens. You always think that the team that won it's going to win it again. The teams that were in the playoffs are just going to be there again. It never works like that in the NFL. It always changes. This is us, accounting, feeling the wind, taking in the statistics, bringing in the variance. We know what's going to happen. Give me a Niners 1 seed, a Falcons 2 seed. No, just Niners.
Okay, all right, yeah. I don't know what fucking win you were looking at with the Falcons 2 seed there, but all right, Sage, I got the odds for the NFC 1 seed too. Did you look at this at all?
No.
Okay, so Number one, like I said, Eagles plus 330. Who do you think's number two?
I'm going to guess it has to be Detroit.
Niners. Niners are plus 650. They're the second highest odds. And I think Vegas, like I said, is looking at the schedule. It's looking at the
Lions schedule is brutal. The Lions schedule is fucking brutal.
I think a lot of the NFC North teams have a rough schedule this year.
Hold on. I just got to read. Okay, this is the Lions schedule to start. Okay, so they go Packers, Bears, Ravens, Browns, and then they go Bengals, Chiefs, Bucks.
Shit.
Bengals, Chiefs, Bucks, Vikings, Commanders, Eagles, Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Bears. It's fucking brutal. Like that is
Are Lions potentially don't make the playoffs team?
Yeah, I think 100%, right? It's going to be like the Eagles 2 years ago when they lost their D coordinator and their offensive coordinator. Like it's an adjusting period, right? Like those guys got head coaching jobs. They were sought after for 2 years for a reason. Like they're legit. They carry their units well. Dan Campbell, for as much as you love him, right? He doesn't oversee either side of the ball, just kind of manages the game. They need those guys to perform because what was so great about the Lions is how creative they were in the run game, right? They had the talent, but they had the creativity. They got guys open. Saw with the Niners, right? Like they had the talent last year. They couldn't score in the red zone because their play calling was so basic. It was limp. You need it, right? You need it to get in. You saw with the, what was it? The stumble bum that they did, the fucking hook and ladder. So I think it's gonna impact them. I'm most scared about Philly for sure. Other than that,
you gotta be.
Maybe the Commanders, but they got tough schedules too.
So 3's Lions plus 700, 4's Commanders plus 800. If you're making this bet, Sage, just fucking give me your money right now. Just give me your money. I'll take the bet for you. Buccaneers plus 800.
Chase, do you know why I'll never be hired by Fox? Because I will never buy into the Rams hype. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Like why people are so high on the Rams and why people think the Rams are shoe-in, like lock-in, like playoff team this year. I don't get it because they signed Devontae Adams. It blows my mind with this team.
I mean, I brought it up when we were on Grant Cohn's stream. I said, who is Sean McVay sleeping with in the media? Because no matter what, and Les Snead too, oh my God. You would think Les Snead was like, I don't know, like the brightest minds in history were like Albert Einstein, fucking Oppenheimer, and Les Snead. Like it's almost like this guy's like a genius. It's like, okay, dude, like they won one Super Bowl in like a COVID year where they got matched up against the Bengals and we blew it in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've kind of, dare I say, never really lived up to expectations. It took a big run at the end of last year for them to even really get into the playoffs in the first place. And the Niners fell apart. The Cardinals fell apart. And the Seahawks fell apart too.
Took an absolute collapse. I don't get it at all.
I'm with you. And then Packers plus 900.
I think they're terrible. I don't buy them at all.
Little sprinkle? You're not going a little sprinkle with Packers for the 1 seed?
That offense is going to be fine, but that defense it was terrible last year. They did nothing to improve it. I don't understand it. They dropped their wide receiver in the first round when they had, and in the third round, right? A wide receiver in the first and third round when receiver's your deepest unit. It just makes no sense to me.
I do like LaFleur. I will say that I'm kind of coming around to LaFleur. I'm not convinced on Jordan Love yet, but I do like what LaFleur's been doing. I like their young wide receivers. They got talent, but 1 seed, no way. Not in that NFC North. They're the third best team in that division. Sage, and then 7's the Bears. Your Bears. What do you think about that?
I mean, dude, I think they're going to be decent this year. I think they made I didn't love their draft.
They're not the 7th team. I just wanted you to admit that you're a Bears fan.
I don't love their
draft. You and Nick Wright.
I didn't love their draft, but I liked what they did in the offseason. They went heavy on the O-line.
What grade did you give them on the draft? Yeah, look around for the grades. Look around for the draft grades. Yeah,
B+. I gave him a B+ on the draft. I mean, like this is now or never. I just think like they got the right guy to pair with their quarterback, and they built up the O-line, which that was kind of a staple for the Lions. One thing about the Lions you can't take away, they probably have the best O-line other than the Eagles. So it's now or never. Like we'll see what it was like Trevor Lawrence last year. I guess people are gonna say it's Trevor Lawrence this year now with Travis Hunter, but this is the year. Like you'll know if Caleb's that guy this year or not. Like the book closes after this year.
We'll know. We'll know when the season's over. When it comes to that, Sage, a couple other lines that I wanted to throw out there. Let me know which one's a little bit more the most enticing to you. So we got plus 150 to win the NFC West. I really like that one. I think that's a great bet.
That's easy money.
Like we said, plus 650 to get the 1 seed. 10-1 to win the NFC, 20-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I like all of them. There's not one of those
I think the NFC West one is where it's like, okay, that's a big one.
Because if you took myself in December and made me listen to this podcast now, I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what kind of drugs did you shoot him up before? But
I know.
I just think it was that great of an offseason for them. I think they hit everything out of the park. Every single thing they did, they hit it out of the park. Genuinely believe that. And you could go back. I am as critical, as pessimistic as it gets. But everything I wanted them to do, they did. And so I can't complain. How can I complain when they did everything I wanted them to do? Now it's on me. I almost feel as much pressure as Kyle Shanahan because they did exactly what I told them to do. That's why I got in media, to lead this team.
All right, so Sage, before we stop the show here today, we're going to do our newest segment called Pulled Up the Group Chat Notes.
Let's do it.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
I don't know if you were this endorsing of the Brock Purdy contract when it first came out, but you're coming around, Sage. I like that. I mean, it's really
one thing I'll always be is honest. One thing I'll never
put it on the tape. It's all about what you put on tape. That's all.
I'm not glued to a take ever. I'll always be honest.
I respect that. You gotta respect that, Sager. But all right, Sage, we got back into it. We're talking Niners. I can't wait to dive into NFL, man. I can't wait to get into fantasy talk. Basketball's coming to an end. You got maybe like what? 4 more good days of basketball if this Knicks Pacers series pans out.
I think the good days of basketball are over.
No, I know, but I'm excited. I'm excited with this Knicks Pacers series. I think OKC is going to rout whoever comes out in the East in the finals, but can't wait to get back into football. You brought it up at the start of the show, but football is king, and I'm just going to go fucking all the way in to NFL.
But, like, I love the NBA, and then Steph Curry hurts his hamstring, and
my God,
the season ends like that, and you realize how much you fucking hate the NBA sometimes.
Talk about just like such a brutal way to get knocked out, right? Obviously you wouldn't want Steph to tear his knee up, but the fact that it was like a little hamstring injury, and it's like, wait, well, we never got to see Steph
played
again.
2 days later, he could have played. Whatever.
Yeah, it's tough. But all right, Sadra, anything for the people before we hop off here?
You know where to find us. Like, subscribe. It helps a bunch. Leave a comment. Tell us what you want us to hit on. It's a long off season ahead. We're going to be coming once, twice a week. We're going to try and be consistent with these streams. Twitter, TikTok. The TikTok's going to be flowing. We got Twitch. We got Red Note. Hit us on X. The X is growing. Got some banger tweets out there. You know where to find us.
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of these clips clipped up on TikTok. I think we're going to be all over TikTok, like Sage brought up. We're on X. Sage's been doing good work on Twitter, X, whatever it's called right now. But we're going to be coming out with a lot of different content. Sage, we're going to have to get a little bit creative here, man. I mean, NFL's coming up, but we got 100 days. We got to get a little bit creative. We're going to come out with different stuff for you guys. I'm just going to make a comment right here. We have the highest capability of anybody else in the Bay Area media game. It's getting stale. This city deserves a better class criminal, and we're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to you. Hey, give us 3 months. Give us 3 months when we get to NFL season.
You could say that you were there from the start.
Ready. No, we'll be ready. Sage, we'll be ready.
Subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the subscribe for all of you out there.
Subscribe, but you'll be hearing from us. You can only get so much Larry Krueger, Grant Cones, and Jesse Nailers before you realize that
David Lombardi.
Maybe you're not getting an itch that you really need to get scratched. So that's going to be it for the show today, guys. Listen to that message. We'll be seeing you for the next 3 months. We'll talk to you guys later.